What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 9 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Lord Skrolk Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we have begun the war with the Awakened of the Vampire Coast. It's going to be a pretty big one, though we did knock out Luther Harkin already using Ian Roxborough's temporary army. Mostly he's just holding on to these guys for another army, but well, that'll change eventually. And for now he can use them to take out Luther Harkin before he's ready for his own stack. Marcus Wolfheart is pretty much destroyed. There's that other stack that we were worried about of the Awakened, and Lord Skrolk will take it out before moving northward to fight both the Jade Court and the Lizards of Hexoatl. Now, in terms of what we got to do this particular turn, I think we did all the building, but I guess what we want to do is we want to move into Chakwa and knock out the revival of Itza. Now, keep in mind that Gorok would revive, but we already have his defeat trait on the mutants, so I think we're better off to just take it, which gives us the commandment, as this is a new settlement and or new territory, and it will allow us to get it on field faster. I mean, sure, we could try to get the trait for Vermich as well, but to be honest, it's not a crazy good trait. Expert charge, defense, and +4 leadership for him. It's fine, but it's not worth worrying about, in my opinion. Anyway, we'll take Chakwa. We'll auto-resolve it. We'll occupy it. Basically full healing. Interesting. Move and occupy. And that will most likely cause a rebellion at Wallatal, meaning we've no choice but to send Vermich over. Wait. Out of curiosity. Yeah, it'll still rebel. So Vermich, you're going to go there. Shurft, you're going to stay in Quitex, and the Warp Energy Condenser, I guess, can stay on Mutant for now, but he'll get something a little bit better over time, I'm sure. Sorry, Gorok. And, Target is immune to Plague. Oh, that's interesting. Well, shame, but whatever. The rest of this looks good. Alrighty, now, let's see what else we have to do this turn. I don't think that there is anything. Imminent Rebellion we are aware of. Damaged Building we will delete and replace with something better. We could double up on wood here, but alas, the wood doesn't give us anything in terms of getting units on field faster. We're going to immediately pop Expansionist Planning, as we will certainly need it to reduce the time, and we are good to go. Alrighty, that's on the turn. Let's see what that second army of the Awakened do. Also, while the turn is ending, yes, we did reach the engagement threshold, just barely this time, and so this episode will be an hour long. Maybe I can actually make it an actual hour long for once. I'll get it one of these times, guys. But anyway, the engagement threshold remains 400 likes and 60 comments, and the next episode will be an hour long as well. Also, keep in mind that the vote for the next campaign's Lord is up and running in the community tab of the channel. It'll be one of we already had Dangerous Winds. It already did that to us, game. How dare you? What was I saying? Vote for the Wood Elf Lord is up in the community tab, so if you're interested as to whether we play Orion or Durthu or the Sisters of Twilight, then do make your voices heard. Anyway, I mean, I guess we could try. The research rate isn't a big deal right now because our research rate is so low anyway that this won't make any kind of difference. It'll still be the same amount of turns. I am a little bit worried about the next sort of tier of this, but we'll keep this for now. Why not? And we'll hear the whispers. Rebellion in Guanji Valley. Quitax receives Plague. Good. More Plaguination, please. Authoritarian. Shurft received a Plague. And you should be able to knock this out, right? Yeah. Alright, a few of the Skaven slaves will die, but it's a pile of skinks. We know from past experience that we are very much able to defeat skinks with... Is that a curiosity? Nope, that won't do anything. Well, whatever. We are very much able to defeat them with piles of Skaven slaves. Ogre Blade for free, and we'll take the money. As we'll need it to now, at last, build the... Another Clan Squire Scout Saboteur. Wolfheart's not back yet. What the heck? Well, that's rude. Build the... You can go here. Build the... Landmark at Itza. Alrighty. Oh! They got two armies back here, and Of course. We declared war on the daughters of the... Yeah, and see, this is why I was worried about declaring war on factions that live out here, because, as we can see, even though these guys, the daughters of the forest, are fighting the cult of pleasure, and they're completely surrounded by cult of pleasure territories, they're sailing out, ignoring it all, to try to go for us instead. Ah, hey, I. Why such a player hatred? Anyway, you're gonna go into ambush stance right here outside of the Temple of Kara there, Skrolky boy, and we'll pop Nivaventer into the Temple of Kara itself, with the hopes that these guys attempt to land to think, well, Nevaventer's an easy kill, but instead we'll encounter Lord Skrolk. At least we'll see. You're not at war with anybody else here. No, they're definitely going for us with this garbage stack. I mean, it's still relatively early in the game for AI. Remember, in SFO, the timings are a little bit different as it takes a little bit longer to grow than vanilla does. Anyway, Vermich, I probably shouldn't have actually moved you here, because Mutant is going to want to go into Quitex and hopefully pick up that plague, but also to be ready to delete Tlashtlan, as we will want Schurft to pick up that defeat trait if Marcus Wolfhart comes back, which he should damn well come back in the next few turns, or at least I hope he does. Ian, Roxborough, and Puston. Alright, so we want you to do two things. Ian, I would like you to move here. Puston, I would like you to swap the 3 or some of these units, and just for the purpose of the auto-resolve. Like... so. One more. Like so, I guess. Alright, and then Ian, you're gonna take this, whatever it may be, hopefully with an auto-resolve. Shouldn't need much more than that, or... oh, I didn't even need to do that, I guess. Go into Arabian Arms then, and we get a Shrieking Blade and Ensorcelled Blades. Alright, fine. You're gonna land at the Altar of the Horned Rat, and you're gonna retake it in a second. We will probably not... well, we won't be able to sack it, so yeah. You are going to go into March Stance. Actually, you know what? You'll be able to land through the harbor and not waste your movement range, so we'll just take it with you alone. Auto-resolve. Barely any damage, and we'll loot and occupy it the old-fashioned way. Lovely. Dragon Mane Gem and a Scribe. We have not had one of those yet. Wait. We need to see what the Scribe came from. What did we do to acquire it? Equipment gained. Looted a settlement with a large army. Are you kidding me? This army is much smaller in terms of troop count than the armies that we've looted settlements with previously. Very odd. And you actually can't land, can you? Because this is attrition territory. Because of the corruption. So you could just stay out here. Alright, we'll do this. We'll go for the expansionist planning. We won't collect the income for obvious reasons. And we'll build you up next turn. Alrighty, that looks good. Lots of easy moving this particular time. Schurft, stay here, and I guess you can... I don't know, channel. You're supposed to wait for Tlashtlan. Eshin Finder. If you can't guess, we're gonna go find Eshin as well, since it'll take too long for Kugath Finder to get there, and frankly, I should have sent an Eshin Finder out there earlier. Also, by the looks of it, and I could be wrong here, Kolek has destroyed Tamarkan. Tamarkan's gone. He's not at war with him, and I see... well, I checked this between the episode, but I saw no Nurglite corruption here. We could go a little bit further, and just to try, but it looks like this is all regular Chaos corruption, meaning there isn't too much point in being out here anymore, is there? Well, I guess we could try to find Zatan, maybe try to get friendly with him. Fine. Go out there. Kugath Finder, you're doing a lot of work. Schurft... oh, we already did ya. Alright, let's start with you. Itza. Definitely go for this landmark. 7.2k, but it's a great landmark, so we're definitely gonna do it. We'll also build the Bell Foundry, as well as the Warp Lightning capacitors. And... what else do we have here? We don't have the food building, in theory. Oh. I was about to say delete the breeding pits, but now we actually need them to continue growing. We could go for our first clan summit, but at 4.5k it's a little bit expensive. We do need more construction caverns. Maybe it's time to build the force-feeding chambers, pits of packmasters, breeding stock, laboratory, the monsters chain. Or, in the alternative, build the Eshin chain. The Eshin units would be cheaper to use, I think, than the Molder units. Well, not the Doggos, but the Rat Ogres are quite expensive at 250, and the other two are very expensive indeed. Eshin units at 212 would be cheaper, although more numerous. But we do got an Eshin guy already. And it would be nice to have an Eshin army ready to go for the invasion of Lustria. And to actually get some Eshin sorcerers being used. Yeah, you know what, let's go with the Eshin building here. We might actually delete it later, but for now, we'll build it. Alright. Actually, I guess, speaking of building, we need to build everything, so... Oishul will continue to ignore you, keep getting martial planning up and running. Kulkan Plains keep growing, although the public order loss is a bit unfortunate. Once again, we should be able to fix it via the breeding pits. River Curveza... We just check Copper Desert, you're fine, and stay in efficient planning, yes. Night Forest Road, generate food, good. Oh, you're a tier 4, oh no, you need to be to tier 5, so yeah, we'll ignore you. Great Turtle Isle, you are fine minus this giant fungi cavern, and we'll be able to build this war next turn. The capes are not being paid for. Spine of Sotek, ready to go to next tier next turn, so expansion is planning. Oh, and we could build the Molder building there. And just so that we have access to all the units that we're now missing. Headquarters Jungle. I combined Headhunters Jungle with Headquarters for some reason. I don't know, my brain just... Yeah. Warren for you. And Spectazuma, you're going to need to switch back to expansionist planning. Guanji Valley, you will need to build another one of these Woodsman's Huts, but only after we build the nest layer, which has to take priority. So unless we have techs, or not techs, diplomacy, which potentially could give us money. But alas, we don't. Again, who are you at war with? Farrak, you're at war with Disciples of Hashut. Still kind of tempted to try this. Well, 1,200 money. How much do the Disciples hate us right now? Minus 55. They're never gonna like us. Oh. Yeah, we're already friendly with Molder, and they don't like friendliness with Molder. Fine, let's take the money from Farrak then. We'll try Zatan instead of the Disciples of Hashut. As somebody suggested in the comments in another episode. Anyway, like 3 episodes back. But yeah, we're good. That will allow us to build here the second Woodsman's Hut and hopefully get a little bit more trade action going on. All right, good. Now we're free to end the turn. Still can't spend money to upgrade that Undercity, man. But what can you do? And the turn. Yeah, it's generally too late to ever get too much mileage out of Undercities. Occasionally you'll get a few in like very expensive territories and might be able to get a few things constructed. But, I've never found the ability crazy useful. They don't spread fast enough, even if you max out their spreading capabilities, and the AI doesn't generally make enough money in most settlements for it to be great. But anyway, Bell Polisher, Breeder, that's better because of the food generation. Army Seers Plague the Mutant, good. Raiding in Quitax. Okay, there's Marcus is back. What do you mean raiding in Quitax? What raiding in Quitax? What? Who's raiding in Quitax? What the heck? Are you telling me there's an army right here? Huh. That's interesting. They'll probably go to Chukwa then. I wish we could see what's going on over there, but anyway. You're telling me the walls are not breached? Okay, that's going to be annoying. Alright, so Shurft, we need you to go here. You'll be the last one. Oh, there's the army. I guess they are raiding in Quitax. Shurft, you're going to attack in a second. And don't you worry, buddy. I'm going to assume that they can't reach Quitax. We're going to take Vermich, and we're going to transfer this one catapult from him to Shurft. We're not going to sack the place, we're just going to occupy it now, since we're done with Marcus. Or at the very least, I don't feel like doing this anymore, so... Unless we have another... Wait, let me just check. No, integrated weapon. I was thinking that if we did have at least one more rat that we needed to give that to, then maybe, but no. You have the thing now. You... I'm going to move right up to this. Hopefully in range. Like so. And then Mr. Shurft, With the mutant in tow, we'll defeat Marcus Wolfhart. Auto-resolve. For one last time. Sorry, Marcus, but you provided us some very nice, very nice stuff. We can't put it up to tier 2. Yeah, the thing is, tier 2 is not useful. That's the thing that bothers me about this. You have to do tier 3, which would lose us control, and we can't have that right now because a lot of our new territories are in negative control. So just so knock by. We'll wait until we have enough capacity to be able to start doing those at tier 3s, and then we'll start doing those. War Banner for the Mutant, a Relic Sword for Vermich. You don't need that because it's garbage, and we'll turn it into something else. And there's that Missile Strength and Range for Schurft. Beautiful. Hans Marshall's Expedition, goodbye. Mutant, go into ambush stance. I would like to see if we can't try to get Peggy to attack us here. Sure, you will suffer a little bit of attrition, but what can you do? I guess what we could do is this. Schurft to leave the settlement. Vermich enter the settlement. Schurft return to Vermich with this. You will be leading an army, but for now we can delete you until we're ready to get you back. I guess the only unfortunate thing is that you'll start again with like a low loyalty, but whatever. No need to pay for you, especially now. Our income is completely broken because we lost our 13th scheme. What can you do? Really? Really? Those two armies are gone, and we don't know where they are. Well, that's annoying. Skrolk. You can't go after this guy. Maybe we could try to bait him into attacking us here. I don't think he'd even try to attack Nivaventer. We should probably try to push on up here. And just assume that these guys are going to go for Tlashland. Alright, we'll try it that way. Skrolk, are you able to move in a raiding stance and raid? Yes, you are. Beautiful. Go to the floating pyramid. Nivaventer, you're going to follow along. One of the, I guess the issue with Nivaventer right now is that he's moving away further and further from the locations where we will be getting him his new troops, because he's going to be using warp lightnings and stuff. I guess we'll have to ferry some troops to him. Don't see much of a choice in the matter. Anyway, Ian Roxborough. If you sail out, you could grab either the Star Tower or the Blood Swamp. Oh, there's a Skull Island right there. What's the likelihood? Now the problem with the Skull Island is that we will take heavy damage taking it. But can we pass it up, is the question. And I'm inclined to say no, we can't. Alright. Can you... Oh, you can't reach the Skull Island. Oh, that's a problem. I was going to transfer some units. What if this guy gets an army and takes it from us? This is risky. What do we have at the Star Tower? Garbage. The defenses here do leave something to be desired. Blood Swamps are an easy take as well. We could potentially go for the Blood Swamps first, take Skull Island, move back into it, and then still be able to heal to full. Assuming... Okay, yeah, I wanted to double check whether the Blood Swamps were a broken settlement, but it doesn't appear to be. So we'll try Blood Swamps. Go like here, and we won't be sacking it because it's worthless, because it barely has defenses. Tier 1s. Huh, I wonder if they were lost to or sacked by these rats. Oh, minus 17. Might have to get Pustin back there. Speaking of Pustin. Okay, you know what, you just take it by yourself. Auto-resolve. Ooh, you should be rank 13 with this. Yes, please. Loot and Occupy. Yes. Forbidden Rod, nice, but the rank 13, let's see, 1814. Ravenous Expansion. Gives us +4 income from province capital and settlement buildings, 1814 up to 187 mark. It's not that much, but the more of those provinces we get, the more value we get out of it. Now, Pustin, you could try to take the Fuming Serpent, which is garbage in terms of defenses, or... Oh, actually, you can't reach it, can you? You can't take the Star Tower. You know what? Go briefly back to the Altar of the Horned Rat, then. We'll build the Taskmaster's platform. Wait, can you reduce construction cost? Yes, you can. We'll build the Taskmaster's platform. We'll have you sit there for a turn. We'll build the Nest Nursery and the Nest Layer here. And then we'll have you move to Blood Swamps and hit Ashalodal while Ian Roxborough picks up the Skull Reef afterwards. There are probably other armies around, especially since the undead have easy access to them, and there's about a 70% likelihood that as soon as we declared war on Teclis, he will have started sailing towards us with a stack, because even though he's surrounded by enemies, he will completely ignore them in favor of going for us, like everybody else, so we do have to be prepared for it. Now, an important aspect of all of this is, are we able to declare war on you yet? Yes. And are we able to declare war on you yet? Yes. So, yeah, just to double check. Goldtooth. Yeah, I don't see the you can't do this anymore. So now what we have to do is, oh wow, he's willing to, he's close to being willing to trade, but you know, we can't have that. Not with Goldtooth, but that does mean, exquisite pain. Wait, what? They're a demonic faction and they can trade? That's interesting. You're telling me Solana... Well, yeah, they probably want drugs, and they want to push drugs to other places. Fair enough. Alright. Kugath, we will join your war against Goldtooth and Caravan at the... Ooh, military alliance. 3.5k. We don't have it right now. We'll just go for the defensive alliance. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. And then we'll peace out with those guys as soon as we're ready. Hopefully this doesn't make Kugath too weak. Where is his main stack? It's right here. He's probably going to lose it. Yeah, we're going to have to send an army to him. Let us build the outpost, however, with him immediately. At... What's the safest place? Frankly, Dragonfang Mount might be safer than Dreadrock, even if Dreadrock is walled up. He also doesn't have access to anything fancy as yet. But Dreadrock is at tier 4, so he'll get there. And the garrison is actually fairly nice at Dreadrock, so alright, fine. We'll do Dreadrock then. Thank you, Kugath. You better not break it like those damn Tzeentchans. But I guess you gotta expect it from Tzeentchans. Alright, and Pustin, I guess you're stuck here until the public order is fixed. Which is, like, hopefully a turn. Anyway, Eshin Finder, you've got to go through the sea lane. Go find us an Eshin, and Kugath Finder, you are finding Zatan, and who knows, maybe Tamarkan does have a single territory somewhere. I doubt it, but, well, we'll give it a shot. Anyway, that looks like that's it for this turn. We're getting ready to attack you and Bo. At the same time, we will want to build a bunch of buildings. Not in Oishul, however, because it's too expensive. Koken Plains, 2 more turns until you're at tier 5, a beautiful sight. River Curveza, that's... We can wait a turn on the Assassin's Hideout, I guess. Also want more capacities for them, but anyway. Just because it's not really important, per se, at least compared to some other territories. Copper Desert, you are fine. Kayaks, you are fine. Golden Ziggurat, we could upgrade you, but because you're going to take 6 turns, I think you're also not super important right now. Citadel of Dusk, nope. Mine of the Bearded Skulls, yes. Oh my lord, 5.4k. Okay, let's take a look at the other places because, yeah. We'll repair this, we will delete this. Headhunter's Jungle is fine, though the public order once again does leave something to be desired. You are in the appropriate stance. Spectazuma, you're probably a much more important place. We could upgrade you here, and I think that's what we'll do. We want another upgrade for that Gem Cutter's Workshop to get more trade income. You will construct your Taskmaster's platform, buff up your Timber Mill, and... -2. It's not so bad. I think it'll fix itself over the course of... Yeah, we're fine. We can start collecting income here. Because we need it. We've taken a lot of territory, and now we need to put in a lot of money into, well, invest a lot of cash into getting it up and running. Though, Skrolk should be able to sack at least a few of these places, and hopefully get us those up and running. Ooh, we got defenses at the Floating Pyramid. That's nice. Actually might be able to fight that one. Alright, I believe we're good to go to end the turn, so we'll skip all of this. So actually, there wasn't all that much to skip, but we will end the turn. And Lustria will be ours within probably 10 turns or so, something along those lines. We're getting there. Now, I haven't built any defenses on our coastline, so potentially enemies could attack and destroy those places. You want peace immediately, which is fine, but we'll wait until you're willing to give us a lot more cash for said peace. We're not going to do it for nothing. What we are going to do... Confederation, Icecorn, Great Orthodoxy. Actually not great, because previously we were at war with both of them, so the factions that wanted us to kill them would have been, well, a lot more happy with us for that. Public order here, still not great, but with a Taskmaster's platform and switching you to exploitative planning, it should be fixed, which will allow you to go into encamp, hit Ashlodal next turn. The Mutin... Damn, and this guy should be able to reach Chakwa, unfortunately. And you're going to the Temple of Kar... Oh, for the love of... Oh, these guys are being really annoying. We could try to move... We could move Nivaventer to defend Temple of Kara. There's enough units there for Nivaventer to be able to take out this little garbage army. It will mean we won't be able to reinforce at the floating pyramid. Unless... No, we won't. Oh well. Go into I was about to say go into ambush to land here. But I'd rather not lose the settlement, so Nivaventer, you're gonna go here. Keep moving. Alright, Skrolk, you're about to fight most likely. Kugath Finder. Let's move you. Eshin Finder's at sea. Let's do this. I want the Skull Island. So, Warlock Engineer. We'll start with you. Triangulation up to as far as we can go. You know what I should have done? I should have done Howling Warpgale instead. What if they have a Terrorgeist? Can they have Terrorgeists? I don't know. We're about to find out. I was about to say we could get the Avalanche Mortars, but we can't actually afford them. We got all these regiments over now, but we need money. Go. Speaking of money. Let's see what we're looking at. Raid the Cove, we have... Okay, they have a Carronade, a Mortar, and a Rotting Leviathan. Plenty of Depth Guard, which is obviously going to be the issue. We have decent amounts of food available to us, so we'll get 4 Menace below, and we should be able to counteract the usage... Maybe 5. Counteract that with the... Yeah, the Skull Island is pretty critical. Go. Counteracted with defeating this army, go. Alrighty, here we go. Unlike the fight against Luther last episode, we've got a little bit more of a front line for us here, and the Warp Fire Throwers as well as the Clan Rats. We're going to start the battle off as we usually do. The enemy Carronades and the enemy Mortars will get a pile of Clan Rats summoned upon them, while the Plague Claws begin dropping their projectiles upon the enemy army. We will have to watch out for that darn Rotting Leviathan, or at the very least drown it in hordes of summoned units so that it is unable to move towards our line. And the enemy also appears to be sending most of its depth guard. Let's see. Yeah, all 3 units here are depth guard, and then another depth guard up in the center. But if these things are together, we should really try to get them nice and focused down. The first thing to focus, however, is definitely going to be the enemy artillery. And as we've already seen, the Plague Claws are actually fantastic in artillery shootouts. They destroy enemy crews pretty darn quickly, especially as the crews are reasonably spread out, but still standing still, so the accuracy doesn't do too much, and they're fragile enough so that the plague, the application of the plague that we got for them now does a lot of damage. Anyway, zombies are moving forward, but fire works fantastically well against zombies, and as they get closer with the Warp Fire Throwers, they'll get absolutely obliterated. We do summon a unit of Vermintide Clan Rats for the Rotting Leviathan to deal with, and we'll even send in a few units of summoned Plague Monks at it as well. They're unbreakable, and as long as it doesn't try to push through the line, we should be able to hold them back. More units of Depth Guard are moving in, but they are taking shots from both the Warp Fire Throwers and the Death Globes and Poison Winds. Effects going all over the place, but Yeah, once again, not a fan particularly of the poison wind mortar effect. It's just this. The fog is unnecessary. Should have just left it to the green stuff. The fog just covers everything. But anyway, hardly matters. Mostly the enemy will be dead before it matters over much. Looks like we do manage to send Ian Roxborough in to fight the Rotting Leviathan. He does have his Bone Breaker now, so he can hold back a big beastie like this without having to worry about getting obliterated, and allow him to pin it in place for our other units to do the damage. There we go, nice jump from the Bone Breaker there. Too bad it can't sort of climb the Leviathan and attack it. Kind of like the animation with Carnosaur versus Hellpit Abomination, which is just fantastic. But anyway, looks like these zombies at least are getting absolutely obliterated. Some are getting back up, but they won't be getting back up for too long. The Death Globes and the Poison Winds and the Plague Claw projectiles and just keep on coming. The Depth Guard will fall surrounded by a tide of summoned rats, though we do some damage to our own units. And it looks like with that, the battle will be ours. No problem. No problem at all. Also, good job to the Bone Breaker. Gonna have more of you guys as soon as we can. Well, alright, there we go. That was actually pretty functional. Happy with the result for that particular army. We got 2.12k and another 3k as our money, which we most definitely need, plus the 20k that we received from the actual island. Pirate Hunter, good. Brood Horror. Now that's a question. Really just an Obsidian Lodestone. Alrighty, so Ian Roxborough is our... maybe Brood Horror. It would mean that he'd have to lose his Sea Cucumber because the poison attacks are overriding the other thing. So lose that, take the Toxic Venom instead. I'm not 100% sure we'll keep him on the Brood Horror, but it might be a decent thing to do. He's not a Master Molder, but obviously we don't have Master Molders available to us because, well, Molder also got kind of screwed over, just like just like Pestilens did, but nonetheless, he could maybe give him some of those units, because he doesn't really have anything specific to buff anything. And because he has Brutally Honest, he doesn't, well, buff any monstrous units, but maybe. Give him some Rat Ogres, give him a couple of Brood Horrors. Maybe that's the way to do it. I don't dislike the thought. Anyway, you can't hit the Awakening from here. We do want to hit the Fuming Serpent, but if we land, we'll suffer attrition, which I kind of don't like. I think we go back to the Blood Swamps for one turn. And I don't know whether we can reach the Awakening afterwards, but we'll give it a shot. Either way, we need to heal, and we can use Pustin to hit Ashlodal. Lord Skrolk, you're about to strike, but let's see if we can't do all the other stuff first and then reach that afterwards. The Mutin. So this guy's clearly going for Chakwa. We could go right beside him right here and see if he tries to attack us, or she, Peggy. Alright, go right here. Who knows, maybe they should be willing to fight. Ooh, there's another stack. Ooh, Mutant. That's a little bit more dangerous than I was expecting it to be, though I suppose if Henrietta goes here, we'll see. Depends on what Peggy does. Kind of hoping to avoid Chakwa dying, but what can you do? Vermich, I guess you're kind of stuck here then. Also, we're at 24 POC samples, which means, while I'd love to take everything, we're going to grab the Final Blessing and that lovely Cannot Die trait, especially as we will be bumping up the capacities of the Plague Monks, as we will once again be using them over Clan Rats in many an army. Lord Skrolk, you will move last. I keep clicking you. I got too used to it. And Vermich is stuck, so Vermich just stay here, but maybe get a few more Skaven slaves to round out what you're missing. And keep the Plague Claw. Just the one. Anyway, let's see about money. We do have decent... Well, actually I was about to say, if we hit the floating pyramid, we'll probably get more cash anyway. And it's a battle that is probably worth fighting. And it's a place that's probably worth sacking. If this guy wasn't being annoying, then Nivaventer could have probably taken it and then allowed Lord Skrolk to hit the High Sentinel on the same turn. But alas. Hopefully we could just kill you off next turn. Okay. Either way, you are currently at war with Hexuatl or Hexuatla. We will... Now, these guys won't like it. Won't like it at all. But we will join your war against the lizards. Just not right now. We will instead ask the lizards to join the war against the Jade Court. 900 gold, never mind. 900 gold is not worth it in the sense that it would be pissing off the Dark Elves for no reason, and we want them as a good trading partner, so we'll just straight up attack. Declare war. We'll hit the floating pyramid, and then we'll see where Yuan Bo is hanging out. We haven't fought Cathans yet, so I'm inclined to say we should fight this just for fun. And fun it shall be. Go Skrolk. Alright, Lord Skrolk comes forth to bring the blessing of the Horned Rat. It almost looks like his own units were melting away as he moved forward, and that would be lorefully appropriate as well, because very few but the most devout plague monks can stand in his presence without dying. And chasing down those poor units of Jade crossbows. And, oh, they're going to try to make their way behind the barrier here, but how well will that work? We've got Menace below, right behind on the other side of the barrier. We've got a Vortex coming down on the ones up on top of this wall who are dying, choking to death on the fumes from the plagues there. Beautiful. They're trying to fire back, perhaps not knowing what they're dying, and they can see a plague furnace moving towards them as well. Multiple plague furnaces, I should say. You gotta admit, being on a Skaven or battlefield with Skaven is just horrifying in so many respects. They got so many crazy things going on. The enemy does have units of the lanterns firing down from above, however, and frankly, this army doesn't really have any anti-air with the exception of the Plague Claws, which, let's face it, aren't going to be particularly good at it. Perhaps with enough projectiles, though. We shall see. Anyway, we summoned some Plague Monks as well. Looks like the enemy will charge in. The Jade Lancers will join the Jade Warriors in holding us back. And the Jade Warriors are a fantastic unit, very cheap and very, very effective for its cost. But I'm just not so sure that they're going to be able to hold this back, especially with Skrolk leading the charge. Anyway, it's time to focus all the Plague Claws at the Lanterns. Kind of a cool idea for the lanterns to dodge, well, the slow-moving lanterns to dodge the slow, inaccurate, arcing projectiles of the Plague Claws, but there are just so many of said projectiles that eventually they will start bringing lanterns down. Or at the very least, every single time one of them hits, they will impart their plague to these things, and they will still slowly lose HP in that manner, even if they don't lose as much HP to direct hits from the artillery. Alrighty, and there we go. Looks like a lantern will go down. Beautiful. You guys keep at that while we make our way through the enemy army towards the center. Plague Monks obliterating enemy Jade Lancers. And for every Plague Monk that drops, we just pop another use of Pestilent Birth and get more Plague Monks on the field. And continue rushing our way through the enemy settlement here. We're already almost at the center and towards that Lord Magistrate. I'm still very interested to play a SFO Cafe as soon as I can, because I'm interested to see how all of those units fare with upgrades. Especially lords that I didn't particularly like or use much in vanilla. I'm willing to bet their SFO buffs make them a lot more viable. Oh, there we go. The Plague Furnace is moving out of all those plague effects and smashing into the units. And before them, we also see the Pestilent Breaths coming in from the Plague Furnaces. Those are their bound Pestilent Breaths as well. They do have to be within melee, essentially, to use them, so may as well charge them forward to do so. And damn, that animation does allow them to go fairly deep into the enemy lines like that. Although the plaguification that they're doing with their auras or whatever that effect is also a little bit egregious, but all good. We've got lots of different army compositions to try out and play around with, and not all of them are going to have these kind of effects. Though admittedly, pretty much almost, well, maybe not all, but tons and tons of Skaven units have various different effects on them, which is nice. Not so nice for the defending Cathians, who are just about done here. The bounce power shifts to about 95% in our favor, and I think couple more units left that are reasonably high in HP. Sky Lantern, this is the second unit of Sky Lanterns, will shatter under fire from the Plague Claws at last, and I believe the last unit of Jade Warriors will shatter, and the battle will be ours. You're gonna have to run a little bit faster than that. I don't think you're outrunning the rats. At least I wager you're not. But anyway, there we go. With that, the battle's ours, and unless I'm mistaken, yes, alright, battle's ours. Beautiful. Alrighty, very nice. A little to no damage other than a little bit of range fire into our 3 Plague Priests, but together they were able to move forward and summon just a ton of additional Plague Monks and have them take the hits, both from our catapults and from the enemy. Beautiful. Obviously, next time we run into a minor garrison like this, we will actually I'll just auto-resolve it, but since this is our first fight against the Cathians, I wanted to make sure that Skrolk got the chance to actually fight them second place and stop moving. Another banner of Eternal Flame, and the settlement is ours. Looted and occupied tier... Still tier 1. Still tier 1. Yeah, and you can go into Rattling Warrens and uncollect your income as well. Alrighty, that looks good to me. Next up, we got buildings to build, and now we have the money, so we damn well should spend it on upgrading our income. Let's start from the bottom this time, and just so that we can hopefully make sure that we take as much advantage of the money to get our new provinces up and running as possible, as much as possible. Anyway, Sacred Pools, you're fine. You, Spectazuma, are in the right commandment, and we'll be able to start collecting income probably within the next couple of turns. You're at 13. Well, you can collect it now. Yeah, maybe start collecting it as well. Alright. Blood Hall, yes. Most definitely the Slaughter Factory, and... I guess food. Alright, no Warren, just food. There we go. And Blood Call, you will obviously need your Taskmaster's platform. We have one more turn until the Pillars of the Unseen Constellations are upgraded, so we won't do anything else there. Headhunter's Jungle, you're switching already, though... Oh. Actually, if we switch you... Wait. We're switching to food generation, right? Yeah, I guess we got 2 turns. Yeah, fine, do it. We got 2 turns until we gotta switch back. Overseer's Lookout, definitely the Warren, and most definitely the Arcane Generators, as well as the Nest Nursery here. Kutex is not going to be attacked, it's Chakwa, and that is likely to get hit, so we're free to build another one of these Bell Foundries, or whatever these are called here, a Taskmaster's platform. Looks good to me. Next up, we got the Mine of the Bearded Skulls, which is ready to go to the next tier, which we now can afford, and you can then immediately go back into food generation for us. And the capes, do we build this at last? Maybe just wait. Who knows? We might pick up materials at sea, and it's not like it gives us anything right now, so yeah. We'll build the Warren up here, and then we'll switch you to, I guess, Public Order for a turn before switching back. But this place is already generating decent amounts of cash, which I'm happy with. And good, the Chamber of Visions has been completed. And now we just need Warlock capacity so we can steal tech and put it to good use. River Curveza, let's upgrade this now since we have the money. And yeah, stay in expansion is planning. Ooh, you're about to soon drop out of the max tier though. Oh well. And ooh, Southern Sentinels ready to go to tier 5 at last, meaning we are free to delete the 2 breeding pits and replace them with more public order structures, which will give us more money as well, since these generate tons of cash. Warp Forge at the Lost Valley. The last thing we need to build here, and this one is actually able to go to tier 5, it's just that the expense is absolutely ludicrous, and I think we're going to have to wait, at least for a little bit. Especially if we want to get the Eshin and the Moors and Molder armies up and running. Actually, speaking of Eshin and Moors and Molder. No, nothing. Actually, wait. What are they disliking? Treaties with Clan Rictus, strategic threat. Okay, it's just a strategic threat, it's fine. As long as we get a few more Grey Seers, we could get Envoy to the Council of 13, and, ooh, speaking of, 13, Ravenous expansion for you. More growth faction-wide, a little bit of extra income. And yeah, we could get the upkeep reduction, whatever, and the casualty punishment rate, but I'd rather the faction-wide buffs. Thank you very much. What about the other guy? Not Pustin. Oh, actually, yes, Pustin, but Pustin has what he needs. Alrighty. That looks like an end turn to me, so skip. End turn, and this will give us the final blessing for the Plague Monks, which will be real nice. Now, I do wonder where the Jade Court's armies are. You want to... Damn. Why? Dark Elves, come on, man. Come on. Don't do this. You're gonna be a good trading partner. We don't want to fight you. We already had Erathon destroy you in the Imric campaign. I'm not super interested in it. Hopefully, they could just declare war and start fighting with somebody else up there, and we can deal with it for them. Actually, once we join war against Hishwatl,
I have a great many things to see to.
we might be able to get non-aggression pact up and running again. Or at the very least, they will hopefully like us a little bit more. Ally begins outpost construction. Confederation between Goldtooth and Blood Guzzlers, was it? Master Mason. There's that Plague of Undeath upgraded. Journey complete for Eshin Finder. Eshin Finder, guess where you're going? Up the river, find us an Eshin. Wait, oh, I sent you up the wrong river. Well, I guess you could go up this way. I do see, ooh, Skaven Corruption is being destroyed, but we see Celestial Monastery is up. Okay, so we got Skaven territories up here. Huh, they have Fuchao? Oh, interesting. Were they fighting the Dark Elves? They lost Kunlun and their capital at Qingpo. Well, their situation isn't fantastic, but anyway. Doom Engineer? Yes. After we move Skrolk. We do have to decide where to send him, though. The Doom Engineer, I mean. Where do we want to start spreading the Undercities? Or where can we generate a lot of money? We could potentially send him to Waldorf. It's another good money generator. There's also Lothern. The thing is, as soon as we identify Lothern, they're going to start getting ready to declare war on us, and we have a pretty massive coastline to defend. You are being so irritating, man. Can Nivaventer land here? I'm gonna give it a try. Let's hope we try to get there at the same time. Yes, alright, good. Oh, and it's an ambush. We don't need to fight this garbage. Oh, that was an annoying guy. Anyway, you will take the money. Lovely. Spell shield, enemy killed in battle. Nivaventer can no longer move, but can channel, and Vermich can move back to Tlashlan or not. Can't do anything. Wait, does being hidden... yeah, I was hoping that being hidden might remove the attrition, but alas, it does not. Alright, start moving back to Tlashlan. You should be okay. Ah! Peggy didn't run from mutant? You just killed yourself. Okay, well, too bad for you. We'll deal with you in a second. Let's move Skrolk first. Not to the Isle of the Crimson Skull, alas. And we will go for the High Sentinel and sack it as well. Hey, it's Mazda. What you doing down here? He's not at war with us. Why are you down here? You should be going for Pawok. So maybe he came out of the Monument of the Moon. Interesting. Either way, scroll key, where we don't need to fight this again. We'll auto-resolve it. And watch Mazda take this opportunity to attack us. It might be interesting, but anyway. Stop moving. And Shroud of Dripping Death will hit the High Sentinel. Oh, I'm really hoping that Yuan Bo isn't dead, though, because we do want to fight him and get his defeat trait, assuming. I don't know what it is, but, I think somebody might have said it, but I gotta double check. Anyway, Kugat Finder, go find Zatan. You're a Zatan Finder now. Pustin. You are gonna hit Ashlodel. And Ian can't reach the Awakening, but maybe we can take these. I'll resolve this. Why do you have the Lichbone Pennant? Oh, so you can have magical attacks. Yeah, sure, go for it. And... like that. Alright, do we need to sack this now? No, we do not. And don't collect the income, but do immediately upgrade... I'm gonna say here because of the port, and then you can go for the Woodman's Hut. Woodsman's Hut. Alrighty, good. Mutant, you're about to fight. We got new tech available. We can't get either one of these, however, meaning we can finish up, take everything, and that'll allow us to go into Carve Under tunnels, which we've been wanting for that additional campaign movement range. It would also allow us to proceed to record effective recipes for more recruit ranks for Plague Priests. Oh, actually, I did want to check Plague Priests, now that we're here. Yes, we do have another Scab-Scarred one. Good. Pretty much everybody was going to need 2 just for Vermintide summons. I guess we're going this way. I doubt that we could take Awakening with you. I mean, we could if they sally out, but the AI hasn't been super inclined to do so. We could try to get them to sally. I guess it also depends on whether they have an army out here. We'll see. If they sally out, we'll fight. If they don't, I guess we can besiege it and wait until Pustin moves. And though, we could rather move him to take Shalanpopek. There's certainly potential for that as well. Alrighty, well, the war is going very poorly for the Vamps. Once again, they shouldn't have betrayed us. We were going to attack them anyway, but nonetheless they shouldn't have... Ooh, that's interesting. We could confederate Clan Ferric. It would give us just Carrick Doom up here. Now, on the one hand, this would allow us to start fighting up here, which is fun. On the other hand, we could do the same thing if we were able to confederate Molder without taking the massive public order hit for however many turns for confederating Ferric. I'm gonna have to give that some thought. For now, either way, we've got a fight to fight. So, Mutant, you're at rank 20. You have Warp Smart, which is the main thing that you want. In fact, is Warp Smart the only one that you want? I believe it might be. Yes. You don't need Respected and Feared. You don't need Molder Knowledge. Could go for Power Overload. We could also move into Ancient Cunning and try to get towards Renowned and Feared, as Mutant is our most expensive army at the current time, with all of those weapons teams. He has a base version of the Howling Warp Gale. The cooldown to spells isn't a huge deal here. I'm inclined to say Ancient Cunning will give us more value right now. Let's go Ancient Cunning. Cunning. I didn't say... Yeah, never mind. Plague Priest. You... go for Renowned for the spell resistance. Just because of the miscasting. And let's strike. You gonna run? But you're not gonna run far enough. You are gonna go into the jungles, however, which might give you some benefit, but whatever. Alrighty. Mutant, you currently have the melee attack bonus. We're going to switch you off instead to the War Banner, which will give you additional range damage. Chieftain, you can stay in this army. Alright, we have that Dwarf Hide Banner, which is completely useless, at least for now. Let's give the melee attack to, I don't know, the Plague Priest, I guess. Nobody else here is fighting in melee except this guy. I guess in theory it might be better to give the melee attack to you and the Banner of Eternal Flame to the Plague Priest as he's providing support. And then screw the Dwarf Hide Banner. Pyrrhic Victory, eh? We'll see about that. Go. Alright, here we go. I absolutely love the Mutants army. He's got a little bit of everything, and it's very fun to play. Especially now that he has all the new stuff as well. 3 units of Jezzails to fire at the enemy, 2 Plague Claws, 1 Poison Wind Mortar, 3 Flamethrowers or Warp Fire Thrower units, as well as 3 Rattling Guns, including the Teeth Breakers Regiment of Renown. You get pets. And of course we also now have the emergency units, if I can find them in here somewhere. The emergency units, the warp grinders, mostly here for the same reason that you'd probably take these guys in multiplayer, just to protect you for your fragile weapons teams from cavalry charges. We're not really employing these guys in the sort of move them into the melee line and dish out damage that way manner for this army, because it doesn't really have a melee line, nor should it really need it. Anyway, as we can see, the bombardment has begun both between the artillery pieces and the Jezzails, who are dishing out damage to the enemy mortars, and they need to try to do it quickly, as there are 5 enemy mortars, which are enough certainly to threaten our lines. Fortunately, between the use of the festering pool and the brass orb and warp lightning from the mutant, who is moving in on his doom wheel to cause a little bit of havoc, everything's turning nice and plaguey and warpstone colored all over the place. Mutant will take a couple of hits, but we don't have to worry about him so much because he does have a healing potion in the for the event that he takes damage. The enemy mortars are down to, I believe, 2 said mortars. And as the enemy closes the distance, more of our weapons teams will begin firing. There we go, Warplug Jezzails firing into, well, just regular zombies this time, as there isn't really too much to snipe. I suppose we could retarget them at the enemy animated hulks. But by the looks of it, this army is going to get absolutely obliterated by mutants. And now the Rattling Guns are moving into position and will be able to get in range soon as well. There we go, Rattling Guns with Jezzails firing over them. Isn't it a beautiful sight? I'm gonna do maybe 20-25% damage with their first volley, but with the 50% total resistance on the animated hulks, they do have a fair bit of it. However, as they get closer, our accuracy will increase, and so will our damage. Animated hulks are starting to drop. And it looks like some of the enemies have drawn close enough to the warp fire throwers. Bats are trying to fly in and dodging shots as they do, and will attempt to land on the warp fire throwers at front, but too late to save the unit of melee zombies that attempted to make their way closer. Rattling Guns and Death Globes have melted away the animated hulks that attempted to charge us on the right flank. And by the looks of it, nobody's really drawn close enough for us to need to use the warp grinders in this particular battle. At the very least, not yet. Though the enemy is starting to simply run out of units that it can send towards us. Mutant is also still trundling around in the middle of the enemy formation, taking shots with his Doom Wheel, or I should say his Armor Sundering in Doom Wheel, as we've given him the Executioner's Blade, which will enable him to essentially annoy more enemies and apply that. I mean, I also like the idea of a poison applying Doom Wheel, but the Armor Sundering does kind of work for me as well. Anyway, oh, it's a beautiful sight. Weapons team's armies are just so fun. The flamethrowers, the snipers, the Rattling Guns, and all the artillery pieces. And we don't even have any Warp Lightnings in here. If we can make room, I might give Mutant a 1 Warp Lightning, just because, since he's doing a whole generalist thing here. And there we go. With that, the last of the enemy army will melt away. I believe this was the enemy lord that got obliterated by everything, getting hit with so many warpstone bullets that the lord can't even be seen in the middle of all that. Oh, you could just make out little bits of the poor Krabby, and oh my lord, my PC can't even look at that. It starts, it starts getting angry and slowing down. Ah, I just gotta say, this army, it just makes me so happy, you know? It just I have a big smile on my face every time we use all the weapons teams together. It's so gloriously entertaining. Anyway, well done to the mutant as usual. 12k kills, not a crazy amount of doom wheeling, but certainly a little bit of annoying and disrupting that enemy formation. Lots of damage on, well, pretty much all of our artillery and our weapons teams, and with that plague buff, we can see how much the plague claw catapults actually tend to out-damage the poison wind mortars, which is interesting to see. But we are clan Pestilens, we should have the best plague claws available. After all, if you consider the crazy buffs that Scryer gets for its stuff, Molder gets for its stuff, etc, 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 it is fair. Anyway, sell off. Sell off for the cash, Wailing Banner for free, enemy killed in battle, and the mutant is not going to suffer attrition, at least not here. So he's going to... How far can you travel? Not super far. We're going to pop him into March Stance. Oh, that literally did not... Okay, whatever. Just move him further. He doesn't need to channel after all. Move here. And we want to get to Zahutek, but depending, if Henrietta attempts to go to Tlashlan, and then we'll hit the Zahutek. Maybe we can hit Burgun with these two, as it's barely defended, or at the very least extremely sparsely. So, anyway, that's that for that. Let's get building. Let's go to next turn, though we are rapidly running out of time. River Curveza, yes to the final tier, the Den of Secrets, and the access to... Ashen Sorcerers, which we didn't have before. Yes, definitely want a couple of Ashen Sorcerers in various armies. They actually do work very well with the weapons team's armies because they can disrupt enemy formations in a pretty big way and slow them down. The main issue is that they also, in disrupting the enemy's formation, can potentially reduce the enemy, well, the number of enemies that essentially get hit, so... I'll think about it. Anyway, Southern Sentinels, definitely Skaven's Stronghold, 10k, but we gotta get that tier 5. You are going for Taskmaster's Platform and Taskmaster's Platform. As much money and control in this place as possible, as it's going to be one of our major money-making provinces. Probably gonna have like 4 or 5 of them in Lustria, whereas the others are going to be a little bit more military and food-focused. And I guess we got to keep the expansionist planning here for now. But anyway, this is why we needed all that money. 10k for a single upgrade, after all. Would love to get those materials at sea. And ooh, wait. Before we move to the Copper Desert, Doom Engineer. And just so that we can get him on the field and get him moving, got to get that additional laboratory up and running. You can sail. Huh. Could put one in Galleon's Graveyard. Maybe. It depends on how the Dreadfleet feel about us. Are they... Well, they're not doing too well on Ulthuan, I see. I see some Slaaneshi corruption. So the outer edge of the donut isn't doing too well. Inner edge looks fine with no corruptions, however. Meaning the Vampire Coast isn't doing the work. We could go buy the Dreadfleet just to sort of see how much money it's generating, because if it's a lot, then we can put an Undercity there. Wait, are we actually able to? Can you put an Undercity there? I don't know, I've never tried. We'll experiment, we'll find out. Anyway, Golden Colossus, you are still in efficient planning, which is just fine. Though we could increase your growth rate with the expansionist planning. Stay in public order for now. Night Forest Road, keep exploitative. Turtle Isles, rather go for expansionist planning. The Capes. Do we finally build that Warp Forge? We could. Let's check out the other stuff first. We've got Chakwa, Talanshla, and Quitex. Let's go for Chakwa first, I guess. It doesn't really matter, but one of these ones with the woods, Slaaneshi Giggle. Anyway, Guanji Valley is fine. Spinasotek is fine for another turn. Spectazuma, yes to the gems, yes to the Overseer's Lookout, and most definitely yes to the Arcane Generators. Public order here is not great, but it'll keep rising over time. The Headhunter's Jungle. I guess well, no, you need the public order. I was about to say switch, but we'll switch next turn. Jungles of the Green Mist. Bloodhall has to be last because it's a red territory, whereas Pillars of the Unseen Constellation are not. And let's get the food here. And we're looking okay. Alright, the rest of this, I believe, is good as well, with regards to not needing to switch commandments. -28, lord. Alright, and... Oh, I guess we could get Flashland up and running. Yeah, go for it. Looks good to me. Then we've got Diplo to check, and with only 8.4k to us, I think we'll once again hold off on this. Oh, come on, materials, let's see. Diplomacy. Clan Molders, still no confed with them. -81, damn, they got stronger. I am tempted by Ferric, I really am. But we can't have the public order issue right now, it'll destroy our... yeah, we'll have to... no, we can't do it. It's just not feasible at the time. Maybe if we get the dominating scheme at the same time in 5 turns, it would be a little bit more viable. But for now, we will skip the rest of this and end the turn. And see what we have remaining here. I was hoping to knock the Awakened out in this particular episode, but it looks like they're going to probably survive too. Ah, there Henrietta goes. But I don't think she's escaping from the Mutant and from Vermich. At least I doubt it. And that's probably one of the last armies remaining to the faction. Clan Ferric destroyed, well, we had our chance, but it wasn't possible, guys. I know, but -8 public order in our newly acquired negative public order territories. We just didn't have the armies to deal with 8 million rebellions at the time. Skrolk. Surprisingly, Pawash is not besieged. Which is kind of surprising, but I guess we gotta go to the Isle of Crimson Skull. We can just jump over or swim on over to Shrine of Sotek after. So, go right here. And I'm hoping that we could cross over to it in 1 turn. Take everything, good. And at 23, we were able to get either Designs of Nurglich, which is more festering pools, or Mutant Breeders. I'm gonna say Mutant Breeders, because there are times when we don't get all... There are times when we don't need these, and even if it's a good ability, figure loss reduction helps every single unit. And figure is very nasty in SFO once again, so yeah. They do have another army. Interesting. Either way, you're moving to Schlanwapek. You should... oh, you won't be able to take it because of the walls, but, well, you can take it over the next turn. Not a big deal. Too bad you don't have your Bone Breaker, or else you would have Siege Attacker. Not a big deal, though. Easy take if we can manage. I should have put a Plague Claw in your army. That's my bad. You are still going to besiege the Awakening, and we'll see if these guys react to it. Most likely Lana Scott will move out of the Poxmarsh and move towards us. However, I don't think we'll be able to fight 2 armies with this one. On the other hand, I don't know, we'll see. We could also just straight up attack the Awakening. It won't be a cinematic battle because we can't because of the walls, but we could sneakily take it. Certainly bombard the enemy into submission, which wouldn't allow Lana Scott to move in, which we might do, but we don't have time, I think, for another battle this episode, at least if I want to keep it at a relatively normal time. Now, you can reach Henrietta. Mutant, you're going to move... ah, you can't quite reach Henrietta, can you? Right, you're going to go right here. Like so. Then... we will try to... oh, you can't go either. Alright, fine. You're going to try it from this direction. We need to push you past the Mutant, essentially. Not towards... not southward, ideally. Make it like this, like this. Oh, haha, the ambush screwed you over. They have some... oh, right, I forgot we declared war on these guys as well. But otherwise, it's not an army worth fighting. I mean, Mutant just fought against this, except... with a stronger army, so I don't really see the need. Especially with 2 armies as compared to the one, so I'll just do this. Destroy it, we'll take the food, we'll sell off the jerks. And... I guess Nivaventure is going to move southward then. Because at least this way... do you guys still have Plague for a couple of turns? We could try to transfer the Plague to Nivaventure. We could at least this way, maybe even transfer the Catapult. Can't reach us, can you? No, by the looks of it, you cannot. And we could at least then pop the Warp Lightnings and other stuff needed into Nivaventure's army, which we've been waiting for. Hey, Vermich has a Brood Horror as well. Now, Vermich... yeah, maybe you can keep the Brood Horror. You have Ravenous Expansion, you have Gutter Runner Scouts. You could go for Quick Pause. I'm actually inclined to say Ancient Cunning first, because I don't know exactly what we're doing with your army, just that you're a strong fighter. Huston is our biggest fighter in terms of single combat because he has badly mutated, and thus he'll probably have to stay on the Bonebreaker rather than the Mutant Horror just for the additional attack. Yes. Anyway, Eshin Finder, you're good-ish. Just go try to find Esh. Oh! Huh, I thought that this would be owned by the Dark Elves, the defenders of it looks like our time with the lizards is not yet over. Interesting. Go get Finder, go. And Metastorm. Keep on going towards the Galleon's graveyard. Anyway, folks, with that, I do believe we are out of time, especially for the first time. I think we'll be getting roughly an hour-long episode, so go me. Alrighty, so next time we'll probably attack the Awakening or wait until they sally out, depending on if I'm feeling a non-cinematic as opposed to a cinematic. Mostly it'll just be bombardment, so we shall see, but I do expect that we will be able to completely destroy the Awakened over the course of the next episode. Hopefully Lord Skrolk finds you and Bo, but even if he doesn't, the Jade Court is on the way out, and we'll move to Keshuatl and completing the conquest of Lustria over the course of the next episode or two. So stay tuned for that, as well as the oncoming invasions of Cathay. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below if you're into the hour-long episodes. 400 likes and 60 comments. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.